Listen in dreadful anticipation to my latest demotions report, starting with Aster Fiskwich, senior copywriter in invasive marketing, whose sloganeering was a bit too Tau-Ceti for the vibrant Arcadian market. You've gone stale, Aster. We can't exactly skip drive you back home, so you're demoted to Assistant VP of Vending Stock. Let's see if you can keep the Sprat crisps fresher than your advertising copy. Next, Russell Crocker in Morale Management. Dress codes for everyone's benefit, Russ. No shoes, no smock, no hull-side office with an Elysium view. Wear something nice and solvent-proof for your new role as Executive Drainage Manager in Recreant Reclamations and Artificial Additives. Remember, dress for the job you have, Russ.
Stranger, the order bids you welcome, but also warnings.
I'd like to highlight Assistant Waste Disposal Officer.
In light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarchs Mercy. It's just down the road here.
So it was one of our bases that got hit. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. I'm not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken.
Well, it weren't our artillery that made that strike. I can tell you that much.
They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Cultists, mad to the last one. I believe they worship the rifts or some such. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Varachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
All our efforts add to the equation.
I don't see anything else coming. Was it just the one?
Adjust your schedule accordingly. Relax. It's in our hands.
Although the cost may be high, one day I know you'll be mine.
Another refugee? All right, step forward.
Plus all the news that's fit for listening. This is wireless-free Arcadia.
Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations.
In last Sunday's weekend P&L report for the previous Saturday, we inadvertently misquoted a junior VP of conveyors rugged lubrication and maintenance.
Ah, I seem to recollect one matching your description set for arrival. Pardon my slowing your ingress. It has been rather hectic of late. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what? Or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around the... Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. Not at present. But according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
I remember.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish. Between the invaders and the order defecting, there's no putting this sprat back into the camp.
Cloister is looking pretty good right about now.
A wasteland devoid of life? No, Arcadia is doomed. Plain and simple.
I swear, it's nigh on impossible to find decent animal remains in these parts.
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Oh. You want me to keep sickness to myself? Is that it? Well, I refuse to give in to shame and fear. I've gotten sick at least a dozen times since we set up camp. Why, last week alone, I caught hack lung, sprat tongue, skinny teeth, and a rare case of mortified skull emergence. Figured I might as well get used to being sick. So I'm practicing for my next disease. It's gonna be a nasty one. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter. Algorithm. And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Typically, no. And it has been somewhat challenging focusing my concentration. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate. To show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. I am sure they bear any inconveniences with grace and dignity. I mean, the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarchs' mercy has some pretty compelling numbers. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors: longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. By quite a healthy statistical margin, yes. We nurture the body while we minister to the mind. We organize, we adapt. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
The old corporate thinking will only leave you single. Listen, child, and take it straight from me. This term, self-betterment, makes you 110%.
Commander, you got a minute to talk? I got some thoughts on this situation with the refugees. The number of folks seeking refuge from the war is, well, it's beyond what I expected. And beyond what the Order is capable of handling, seems like. Andes may not be faring much better here, but we could at least find enough work for these folk to buy some food. I mean, we ain't gonna give up our cots for what could be the enemy. We're doing what we gotta do to keep our heads on our shoulders. It's a tough situation, that's all I'm saying. But if the Order can't even manage tens of folk at their doorstep, they ain't gonna manage much better should they win the war.
We've got an improved outlook, a revolutionary corporate guidebook with a fresh and surefire sales pitch. Now our underlay...
I make a point of not leaving those slow on the uptake behind. I went through this myself when Anti's Choice took over Tau Ceti. It took time to secure the merger, but once they did, we folk got the help we needed real quick. And all they wanted in return was the signing of an employment contract. Now, I ain't seeing any contracts in Matriarch's mercy. So what is the Order actually gaining by doing this? They'd have to be evil to even think of them as such. And they'd have to be stupid to think that's a line nobody would cross. The Order doesn't strike me as either. Anyhow, if the Order is in fact helping these folk with no hidden aims, then, well, I'll be the first to admit that there might just be merit in what they're selling. Appreciate you hearing me out.
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain all bodily functions, but it could use a little salt.
I shot her one last question. I said, but I worry about reprisals when dealing with my rivals. Suppose I can't outdo or outthink the vast earners. She said.
How long are we meant to stay here?
Ask the Order. I'm not in the prediction business.
They're playing checkers. You're playing chess. They think you'll retreat, but that's when
Broke my nose last, Scrap.
Or, I guess Raleigh Dortmunder did, huh?
I still don't get any of this. I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled.
The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now. Oh, geesh. We didn't mean to over your head talk or nothing. No, I guess I should only answer for myself, though. Maybe Mapother did.
Huh. Never had anybody accuse me of that afore. Lots of other stuff, sure, but that one's new. Well, we could play Guess the Question, I guess. That usually passes some time.
You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borst loaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Broadcasting only the most profitable news, music, and honest product endorsements. This is wireless free arcade.
My noggin sure is sore.
Word to wise? Don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another.
They say their food products are healthier than ours. But did you know what excess...
This ain't the place to go poking your nose in other folks' business.
Nausea, halitosis, increased chance
You
of
got business? No? Move on. You the fixer lent your aid to Agent Galloway? Don't suppose you got that crawling hibiscus she promised to sneak me, huh? Forget it. You can come in.
Low in sugar.
What?
Food that's high in sugar.
Convincing points. Give me Auntie's...
Hello. You're the one that aided us in availing Sub Rosa of a rather large shipment of Spectrum vodka, yes? Agent Galloway is slightly less trustful than most feral canids, so winning her over speaks volumes of your character. Consequently, I'm pleased to present you purchase access to my fine wares. It's fortunate you're no stranger to contraband. It's superb cover and a consistent market. Refugees are in need of all sorts of supplies that the Order cannot provide, and Sub Rosa delivers, at only a reasonable markup. Myself, I enjoy the thrills of the environ. Will the Order attempt to drive me out? Will Matriarch's mercy be shelled? Shall I run out of new cereals? Oh, thrilling! Yes. Obviously. I don't believe I ever implied otherwise. Idle browsers will be escorted from the premises.
You know you're shooting to the top. You show that you cannot be stopped. So take your shot, don't blow it. Throw back a shot and crow it. Gee whiz, that's your G whiskey. Stack in the black, don't be a better. Be the best that you would be if you were any better. That's your G whiskey. She's the best choice. It's Auntie's choice.
amplified across the rings of Elysium. From the boardroom to the bottom rung, this is wireless free Arcadia, official frequency of Auntie's Choice.
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up his or her britches in your corner of the yurt. Am I right? Or you're dealing with more of a stay off my palate or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention. Oh, really? Like they strung a few words together in a row and it all made sense? That's a marked improvement on earlier. Guessing they left out a bunch, though. Here in Matriarchs' Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. In some cases, sleeping on top of them. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. It's the Order, so they don't kick you out or nothing. It's all community betterment volunteering. If you're former Auntie's Choice, it smacks kind of like work for free. If you're former Protectorate and it don't involve Automax, it's all terrifyingly mystifying somehow. We say whoever wins the fight wins the argument, but frankly, it's never anything of consequence, like, okay, hurrah, this guy gets back his mangy button. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers. I got a bunch of yeggs, 2 pugilists, and a cicanid to feed.
Look, your nose was just a stand-in for Duarte's nose.
Don't feel like no stand-in.
Where do we go now? Another rift. What happened to this place? Law. Matriarchs.
We're not going anywhere. Not on the basis
side.
of some
I
half-baked
predict that the
prediction.
worst is
This
behind
so-called exclusion zone is where we stake our claim. Stand with me in defense of freedom. Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me. Cheers to that, friend. When war looms its ugly head, adaptation is key. May Huffstetler, formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, the voice of the displaced. That's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet, likely meant as a petulant slight. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turned those into demands for reasons of clarity and import. I was once considered quite the up-and-comer in the Department of Invasive Marketing. Looked down on all the bottom-rungers and have-nots. Then I came here and became one. Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me. The exclusion zone. The Order has decided to keep us out thanks to some nebulous prediction of disaster. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. This camp keeps us safe from the war, and now the Order wants to keep us safe from the camp? Where are we supposed to go? I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur. I couldn't get anywhere with Administrator Daggerwall, but maybe you'll have better luck. Even the Order, for all of their logical ways, value an outside perspective. And because I've run out of options. Thanks, stranger. Maybe fate's on our side for a change. You can find Agarwal in the lift building, probably formulating another equation to get on my nerves.
Oh, a visitor. Without notice. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. Oh. Well, the Order have got these things called personalized order predictions. Take about an hour for them to get a read on you. Then you get updates about your, path. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rollo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one, as a laugh. Everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on. I mean, if you want an exact estimate or percentage, talk to them. As for me, I just got that, anecdotal feedback. A few times, I couldn't make heads or tail of half of it. Like, avoid anything representing whole numbers? I didn't know what to do about that. So I just stayed put. End of the day, I'm still here, and my co-occupant Ike isn't. So, I guess them prognostications work well enough. Sure, but I've had 9 POPs so far, and at least 3 times, something similar happened. Avoided drowning in a culvert, sidestepped my mantisaur allergy. Forget the other. Things like that just illustrate the fragile nature of human existence, especially here in Golden Ridge. My co-occupant Ike had a POP done and told him avoid liquids for 48 hours. He ignored it. Later got drunk, passed out, drowned face first in a puddle of water. You did catch the part I said they'd save my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already.
Tonally, if not thematically.
Wireless Free Arcadia presents our top requested marketing melody, Forced Rockets by the Herschel Sisters.
Force rockets. Force rockets. Put a rocket in your pocket and launch your launch today.